Jai Hind everyone, welcome to the Patriotic IAS. Now we will start our The Hindu newspaper analysis session. The first news that is associated with the Jammu and Kashmir. Jammu and Kashmir has been in the turmoil and also continuously in the news because of terrorist activities, movement. So you should know everything about that. This news is about that from tomorrow onwards, means from the 10th onwards, there will be no local representation as the Jammu and Kashmir local body is going to be dissolved due to the completion of the tenure. So here it is mentioned that they took oath on the office on January 10. So one thing always comes in your mind as the curiosity whether this tenure start with the elections, last election, or the result when declared, or when. So neither it start from the last phase of the election, neither when the result is declared, it is start with the meeting, the date appointed for its first meeting. So this is the date because this local body was last phase for this local body election was the 16th of October. And after a few days the result declared, but the appointment took place and the meeting took place on the 10th of the January, and that's why the tenure was complete just one day before 10th of the January. So you should be clear about when this start. This is important with respect to the prelims, as well as you should know that what happens if this local body dissolved before 5 years. Does the election take place? And if the election take place, for how long period? So let me explain this. This is very important with the prelims. Means take example that if in 2020, 1 January, the election took place for the Panchayati Raj of any of the state. So the tenure as per constitution is 5 years. So from which time this 5 years will be counted? So it will be the date on which appointment and first meeting. Okay. The next thing comes that what will happen if this body that appointed on 1st of January on 2023, June 2023. So it is just 3 years after that it is dissolved. So if election take place in October 2003 for the new Panchayati Raj, so will it be for plus 5 years or will it be for the remaining? How much time remains? 1 year, 6 months. Near about 1 year, 6 months. I am not talking in the exact sense, but near. So will it for the remainder time or it will be for the 5 years? For the Panchayati Raj, it is for the remainder time, not for the 5 years, but for the parliament and for the state legislature, it will be for 5 years if the new election takes place. So you should be very clear about this thing. Okay. But even for this state legislature and the parliament, if it is for the particular one constituency, for example, if there could be the death of one of MLA or the MP in between, so it will be not for the 5 years. For that particular MLA or the MP, it is for the remainder time. So this is the rule. The second thing that should comes in your mind with the curiosity, what are the functions and where they have been defined for the Panchayati Raj institution. So you should know that it is the schedule 11. Under that, the functions of the Panchayati Raj institution has been provided, and there is the 29 function, I think it has mentioned here. And for the urban local bodies, it is provided under Schedule 12, and total number of the function provided is 18. So in the comparison, you should know this is less for the urban local body and more for the Panchayati Raj institution. So you are, I think you are clear with the tenure, you are clear with the this functions where it has been provided. You should also know, you should know some of the basics of Panchayati Raj institution when the number comes. When it was started, evolution. So evolution started with the Balwant Rao committee, Balwant Rai Mehta committee, Rai Mehta. 1957. Then the second committee after 20 years. The name was, there is similar Mehta in second committee as well, but it was the Ashok Mehta. Ashok Mehta committee, it was constituted in 1977. Okay. Then the third committee, third important committee was constituted in 1985. It was the G.V.K. Rao committee. Okay. Just you should know this evolution so that if UPSC asks that this committee is associated with what, you should know that they are associated with the Panchayati Raj institution. And the last and very important committee that was constituted after that, this Panchayati Raj institution was brought under the constitutional framework. It was the L.M. Singhvi committee. It was in 1988. I hope date is correct. So these are the basics with respect to the prelims. For the mains, one thing you should know, if the question comes that the role of the Supreme Court, as this particular paragraph mentioned that the Supreme Court directed the Election Commission of India to hold assembly election in Jammu and Kashmir on September 30, 2024 before. Okay, so this is the role of Supreme Court to protect the democracy in India. So whenever the mains question comes that how the Supreme Court has played to enrich democracy in India, one of the recent example you can bring, this will make your answer a bit more effective. Second thing, whenever this Panchayati Raj institution comes with respect to the mains, always there is the debate on it is effective or not. Because even as per this has mentioned that the previously this Panchayati Raj institution was not fully implemented in the Jammu and Kashmir, but after this reorganization, recent reorganization, the union government is going to implement in a proper manner. So only if you implement the act, will it be sufficient? So if it was the case, it was fully implemented in the Bihar and UP as well, but the condition is not that much good. Why? Because there is other issue that is particularly known as the fund, function and functionaries issue, triple F. So it is known as the triple F, fund, functions and functionaries. So this has not been given to the local bodies, and that's why local bodies are not that much effective as it was considered to devolve the power, bring the development. For example, the last committee that was constituted under the L.M. Singhvi, this L.M. Singhvi committee, the theme for this committee that was constituted, the theme was revitalization of Panchayati Raj institution for the democracy and development. Democracy and development, that was the theme, revitalization, revitalization of Panchayati Raj institution for democracy and development. Okay. So this was the main issue, but due to the lack of fund, function and functionaries, the implementation, the effectiveness of Panchayati Raj is not that much. So if you are not able to understand what is the funds, funds means money transferred to the local bodies. Function means decision making areas like the different functions that can be given like the taxation functions and the developmental functions at the educational level, health level. That has not been that much broader. And functionaries, different government machinery that comes under the local bodies, that is also not that much as it was expected by this committee. So if, take the example, if you are not able to comprehend what I want to uh, explain, you can compare with your family. Like there is the three level of government in India at union level, central government, state level, state government, and these local bodies. Compare with your house. Your father is there, and you, as a male child, working in the company, and your mother as a housemaker. Union government has most of the power with respect to taxation and other decision making because it has the taxation for the GST, also on the income, also on the import duties, export duties. Most of this goes with that. Then comes the state. After this, if some power rest, it is with the state government. And very, very thin such power comes to the local bodies. Despite if you say that the local bodies are very close to the people and it is the main body mechanism that should play the main role for the development. But if you will not giving the money, if all the power is with the union government and the remaining power is the state government, you are not giving the funds, money and the power with the local bodies, how can they take? It is like the father is earning 1 lakh rupees and you also joined some company earning 30,000 per month and mother is earning nothing. Despite you say that all the thing of the house depend on the mother, but if she doesn't have the money, how's the household works will work. So house will not effectively work. Same is the local bodies. Local bodies is like the housemaking mother, don't have the devolution of power from the upper side. If they are not giving the money and only say that yes, everything you will do, she will not able to do, same as the local body. Also the most of the decision making, like the where my child will marry, what will be the function we will celebrate, where we will go, where we will, everything if this two person is controlling, how she will be effective. Same is that the most of the functions are with these two bodies, two with the two this with the these two layers. So this is functionaries means like the different officials. Most of the officials also work under these two label, not this layer. So they do not listen if they order anything. Are you getting now? Same is the with the this family. So whenever the question comes, what are the issue, you can bring this, and what are the answer? Answer is that more devolution of these three funds, functions, and functionaries. So this will be all about whenever the question comes with respect to the local bodies. Local bodies is very important because UPSC also asks a lot of questions. Let me show you different previous years of the question that is being asked by the UPSC. This question being asked in the 2021 and this is not particularly with the local bodies but it is related to the forest right. So the answer will be Ministry of Tribal Affairs. This will you will study in the society when your a topic of the tribal and the issue associated with the tribals will be discussed. This question is associated with this local body Panchayati Raj. One more thing is I hope you must be knowing that the 73rd Amendment Act is for the Panchayati Raj, and 74th Amendment Act was for the municipalities, urban local bodies. So this question is talking about the minimum age prescribed for the any person to be member of the Panchayat is 25. Is it correct? Please write your answer. And the second is talking about the Panchayat reconstituted after the premature dissolution continue only for the remainder period. So second is correct. The first is not correct because this age is 21 years for the Panchayati Raj. You should not confuse with the state legislature. For the state legislature and the member of parliament it is 25, and for the Rajya Sabha member it is 30. For the governor and president it is 35. So these are the age limit that you should always compare. In 2015, this question is asked. This is very conceptual question. The fundamental objective of Panchayati Raj institution is to ensure which among the following: the first, people's participation in development; second, political accountability; third, democratic decentralization; fourth, financial mobilization. So if you will go, you will think everything is correct. But the question is the fundamental objective. So again, the theme of LM Singhvi committee was the revitalization of Panchayati Raj for the democracy and development. This democracy, this talk about the democratic decentralization, this talk about the development. Political accountability and financial mobilization, yes, this is part, but this is not the fundamental objective. Like the fundamental objective of the parliament is the political accountability, because in the parliament we can there could be the we can ouster the government by the majority, just by the vote on majority, that whether you have the majority or not. So if you fail, you will be, your government will fall. So political accountability and financial mobilization is not, because the most of the taxation power is still with the union and the state government. There has not been that much, but decentralization was the main aim and the people's participation. So the answer for this question will be C. You need to clarity, particularly if you can reduce, you can eliminate this second, political accountability. Yes, accountability is there. The people, the panchayat, the member of the panchayat body are very close to people. If you have to meet your headman, you can meet him in the market, anywhere he was, must be wandering, walking and talking to the others, you can just meet, you can catch him. But if you have to meet, it will be to your MLA or the member of parliament, it will be very difficult. If you are from the UP, you have to go for the Lucknow. For the meeting member of parliament, you have to go Delhi, and this is not easy task. You must have watched that movie in a series, Panchayat series, with Hagji. It was very difficult, but it was very easy to access the Gram Panchayat, Gram Pradhan, who he was wandering around the village. So political accountability is that, but it is not that much that you can that turn into the fall of government. Okay, so this is that you can in the functional area you can make the accountable, but not in the political area. Political decision once taken, he will be for the 5 years as a headman. But the political accountability is held at the state legislature, because the government can fall if the majority is not there. So this clarity is needed whenever you go for the UPSC. UPSC asks conceptual clarity, just not memorization of the fact. Here, this is a beautiful question. Okay. Next question. Government enacted the Panchayati Raj extension to the scheduled area. Which one of the following is not identified as its objective? The first, to provide self-governance, correct. Recognize the traditional rights, correct. Free tribal people from the exploitation, yes, it was also aim. To create autonomous region in the tribal area, this is provided not under this act, but it is provided under the 6th schedule. If you are clear with the 6th schedule, you will know that this is not the aim, so this will incorrect. This will be the answer. Next question. Again from the Pesha. In the areas covered under the Panchayat extension, this is particularly for the scheduled areas, and Gram Sabha has the power to prevent alienation of land in the scheduled area. This is correct. Gram Sabha, you need to take permission if you have to take the transfer of the land. Gram Sabha has ownership of pioneer forest produce. This is also correct. Recommendation of the Gram Sabha required for the granting prospecting license or mining lease for the any minerals. This is not for the any minerals. This is for the minor minerals. Okay, so this any make it incorrect. So answer will be 1 and 2 B. Please answer. Constitution 73rd Act 1972, which aims at promoting Panchayat Raj institution in the country, but for which of the following? What? So it is very clear that 73rd Act provide for the second and third, but not for the first. The first, this district planning committee is provided under the 74th Amendment Act. Okay, so you should be very clear. That's why you have to read the lines. Means UPSC has asked the means 2018 question. Assess the importance of Panchayati Raj system in India as part of local government. Apart from the government grants, what source the panchayats can look out for the financing developmental project. Okay. So this is only, again, we discussed the fund functions and functionaries. That is the issue. That has always been issue, and that's why UPSC asks the questions. In the absence of the well-educated, organized local level government system, Panchayat and Samiti have remained mainly political institutions, not effective instrument of governance. Again, you have to talk fund, function and functionaries. So this has been issued. By this you can know that what type of question UPSC asks and how you have to prepare the topics. Next. Now the next relevant news that is, actually this is not that much relevant, but just it gives a good sign for the India-Bangladesh relations. So you can see that whenever Sheikh Hasina comes into the power and her party is a bit cooperative with the India, and it has supported to the Indian decisions as compared to the Khalida Jia. Her BNP is a bit anti-India tone, and her relationship is closer to the China. One thing that seems to shocking for me is that Sheikh Hasina bagged 2,49,000 votes, 50,000 near about. Opposition got just nearest opposition 469. This is so much, means एकदम राम राज जा गया वहाँ पे. Even in the Indian case, last election against the Modi, our Prime Minister, I think he got 6 lakh something vote, and opposition was still at the 2 lakh vote. So in the lakhs, at this there is no comparison. But this is not relevant for us. But this shows the nature of democracy. This news is particularly related to the one concept we can use with the concept of what is meant by this consumption based tax. GST is a consumption based tax. This means that the tax is levied particularly indirectly, and particularly on what? On the goods and services that is consumed on and by the consumer. So this is other taxes like the income tax, they are directly levied on the income of the companies or the person. But this is the levied on the goods and services, and this is indirectly levied. This is when other data is related to the state growth. Those are not that much relevant. Next relevant, this is very good. I find this news, you can use this particularly in art and culture and society, because this news is talking about the Ram temple opening brings hope to the Moradabad brass traders as order for the ideal sought up. So in this line it has given that those who are buyers, consumers are the Hindus, and those who are going to produce, manufacturers are the Muslims. So it's so a beautiful example of the harmony between Hindus and Muslims, despite lot of artificial border we try to create, but you can give, and yes, example will like, because this is from the newspaper. And this is a recent example that due to the demand from the Hindu section for the Ram temple, due to manufacturing of the Ram temple, there is demand for the idols that is made of the brass. One more thing is very important that you can learn from this news is that Moradabad is the center for the brass industry. Okay. So this is used for the society, in the society as well as art and culture. Other thing, this also gives the some idea about the manufacturing sector in the India overall. It is specific to the Moradabad. It shows that the recently, due to this construction of Ram temple, there is the more demand for the this idols for the whole temple or the court of the Ram that is being modeled there. Before that, there was a shock in the this brass industry, and before that, there was a good brass industry that was flourishing in the Moradabad, and it's mentioned that the Moradabad brass industry stood for the 20,000 crore. But due to the recent some change like the impact of demonetization, this line talks about impact of the implementation of GST and COVID-19. Due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this industry has badly impacted. You can use this for the overall manufacturing industry in India, why this there has been the impact. So you can bring this impact of demonetization, implementation of GST as well as COVID-19 pandemics, and in the this also gives, this particular line also gives the impact of demonetization on the informal employees, like the informal workers, laborers. They were thrown out of their job without any job security or any income security, financial security. You can talk all about this. So this article you can use this. Next important news we can cover is this. Particularly, this can be just one further point we can use from this news. This is talking about the Delhi flood last July due to the rising Yamuna riverbed. So last, particularly in 2023, we saw that huge lot of hue and cry in the Delhi. Particularly, we saw the flood and affected life. It was due to the riverbed, rise in the riverbed, and we can use this in environment section that this increase in riverbed due to the human inference has been the cause for control, cause for flood, and control measure is necessary to this other disaster management, preparedness, risk and rehabilitation that was missing in this region. So we can prepare with respect to this. Other suggestion that artificial suggestion that has been given is the dredging of riverbed to remove the silt could be the solution for it. Here we have seen this Anganwadi workers, they are mobilizing and agitating against the rise, against the government for their rise in the salary. One thing we can see here that this state government can impose by its order, issuance of its order to bring workers and the service providers under the Essential Service Maintenance Act. Whenever there is the protest by this crucial section of the service providers like this doctors, nurse, these Anganwadi workers, this act is used so that the public services and essential services for the people cannot disrupt. Next important news we can cover is this. This is continuously in the news because the tussle that is going between the India and Maldives, and after election of new president Mohammad Mujib. So previously it was the under the Soli it was favorable government for the India, and he was more towards the India first policy. Now the position that comes has on the basis of the campaign India out policy. So it is pro China and a bit not so much cooperative with the India. And this news is today that comes after the three of the ministers from the Maldives new government under the President Mujib, they used some abusive words against our Prime Minister. Now the status is that they has those three ministers has been suspended, and this was just coming before the scheduled visit of Mohammad Mujib to the China. So there has been a debate on the India out versus India first. India out after just presidential ceremony, he took the ceremony and called for the India to get out of the Maldives, particularly with respect to its army. And army was involved in some service, and particularly in the area of the hydrographic survey that was beneficial to the Maldives and mutual benefit for the both states. So this controversy is going on. Let's see. So you can use this under the India-Maldives relation. This could be one example you can provide. Next relevant news that we can cover is with respect to the Mizoram. The chief minister has the new chief minister of Mizoram has provided a supporting hand with respect to the Chun refugee. These are the Chun. This is not related to the China. These Chins are the community belong to the Myanmar, Mizoram, and Manipur. They inhabit this border area in the Myanmar. Mainly they belong from the Myanmar. Okay, so let me show you the region where they belong. This is the Myanmar. This is the border separating India and Myanmar. This also shares border with the Bangladesh. So this Chin community lives in this area. They have the inter-border relationship. The people living in this area also have the relationship with this area. Cross-border relationship exists there, and that's why there is the free movement regime. Free movement regime means there is a provision India has provided. India and China has agreement that they provide the 60 kilometer of the border, means movement from this border area to the 60 kilometer into the Myanmar, and from border into the area of the India 60 kilometer, there is no need for the visa or the passport. Locals can move in this area. But now as per the plan, this regime is going to end due to the security reason. As we have seen more and more refugees, so India don't want this refugee influx. Other thing you should know that other nations with whom India has free border policy with respect to the Nepal, citizens from the Nepal can come to the India, and Indian citizen can go to the Nepal without visa and passport. Just they need to register in border area. There are some of the checkposts where just you need to take permit. So this movement is very easy. This movement is also with respect we have with the Bhutan as well. So you should remember we have free movement in border area with the Nepal and Bhutan, and in Myanmar case there is, but it is limited distance. But in Nepal you can go across the Nepal with the some of the sensitive area provision. Same is with the Bhutan. Yes, and for the Sri Lanka, you need to take visa, but taking visa is easy to go Sri Lanka. But yes, visa is needed. Visa is also needed for the Maldives, but one thing is that when you reach the Maldives, they give free visa instant, immediately. There is no need to prior visa approval. Visa approval for the Maldives is so easy. So you should have information with respect to our neighborhood, how this is going on. Next important relevant news that we can cover is with respect to this two Supreme Court judgment recently we saw. First is with respect to the status of 370, abrogation of 370, where Supreme Court held this abrogation of 370 as valid, and also reorganization of state of Jammu and Kashmir valid. And this, the case that is going between with respect to the Adani group and SEBI investigation. So in both groups, this article is talking that the Supreme Court considered the assurance from the government as valid and it didn't enter into the other area. So in the case of Jammu and Kashmir case, our Solicitor General from the government said that yes, we are going to make give the again Jammu and Kashmir as the status of a state. On this basis, the main objection from the petitioner was whether Article 3 permit this reorganization is valid or not. As per the Article 3, it's provide the reorganization of a state, but it's talk about the different region being reorganized from the higher level of the autonomy. Means if a region is there, if a region want demand for the state, so for example, take the case of the Northeast, where the most of these northeastern states like the Nagaland, Manipur, all were part of the larger Assam. But after the reorganization, what they provided from the Assam, they were separated and they were provided the union territories status, and after that they were upgraded to the state status. It is not that the Assam was converted to the UTs. Assam remained a state. There is no case that a state completely converted to the union territories. That is the case with the Jammu and Kashmir. So it has been mentioned under this petition or under this petition that yes, this is not, it is against the federal structure because you are downgrading the status of the units of the state. So for the assurance of the Solicitor General that Jammu and Kashmir will be provided as the status of the state, they didn't enter into the legality of this particular reorganization of Jammu and Kashmir. Under the abrogation of Article 370, the main contentious point was that whether this Supreme Court should check validity of abrogation of Article 370, that Indian state, the way it reorganized, the way it abrogated 370 is not constitutional, because to abrogate 370 it is needed to consult the Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir, and in the process of abrogation, what the presidential order did, it used the State Assembly as the Constituent Assembly of Jammu and Kashmir. So on this, it was torn to the doctrine of colorable legislation, where you cannot do one thing that is prohibited in the constitution by the other means. So this has been done, and in this article also mentioned Article 144. Under that, it is mandated that all the authorities, civil and judicial in the territory of India shall act in aid of the Supreme Court. So this gives real power to the Supreme Court. So Article 144 become important. You should remember that it is with respect to the, by this article, Constitution provides Supreme Court of India the power so that it can implement its orders. So you should remember this. Next article, that you can just remember this C-130. This is the transport aircraft. Nothing else is that much relevant. This news is important because you can use this under the GS paper 2 and education policy. It's give a positive prospect for the future skilling, as the IITs are giving accessibility to the rural area and providing some of the courses where people from the rural and backward area can pursue some of the short courses of the 3 months, some diploma course and some other skilling course with help of the National Skill Development Corporation of India and these 5 IITs, IIT Ropar, Guwahati, IIT Mandi, Patna and Kanpur. So this initiative will also help in the making the balance, the preparing those student for the future human resource for the industry as per the demand of the industry. There is a huge mismatch between the demand of the industry and the education that is being provided from these academics. So this is not matching, but due to this initiative, there could be the improvement in employability, as we have seen a lot of news in the previous days that employability of the Indian student is very low. This is also talking about the, as our new education policy is talking about the multiple entry and exit options. So this is also implementing. So exit option is being provided at the foundational stage, diploma, bachelor and honor. Yes, this article is relevant for the GS paper 3 as well as geography, disaster management. So this particularly talking recent landscape susceptibility map, and this map is prepared by the has been prepared by the Delhi IIT Delhi, particularly a professor and his student has tried to bring a map that will locate the susceptibility of landslide across the India. It is on a holistic level. So this is talking for, first of all, you should know that what is the torrential rain. This is characterized by the a large amount of precipitation in a very small span of the time. So this is the definition, and this is also cause for the landslide such as in the hilly region. What are the uh, what are the area that has been what are the factors that has been taken while preparing this map, like the soil cover, number of trees cover, and also closeness to the road and building. So these all the things has been considered, and as per this analysis, most of the landslide don't happen in the city, they happens in far off the areas. Further, it has been mentioned that mostly now we know that the high prone area that is high prone to the landslide, that are the Himalayas, Assam, Meghalaya and Western range, but it is very less known to the areas such as the Eastern Ghat near the Andhra Pradesh, Odisha. These are the regions that has been mapped, and as well landslide early warning system has been prepared, and it is very easy. Just you have to click a particular location on the map and it will give the landslide scenario, matlab how much risk associated with the landslide in that particular region. And this is not that much difficult, this is easy, so it is accessible to the public. Here it has mentioned that a cartogram that will depict the stage of road, railway and building that are particularly vulnerable to the landslide. So what is the cartograms? This is like the map, but this is the a distorted form, means where the hill or the land or the different parameter will not shown in the same level of the prospect, but there could be the distortion that could be depicted in the distorted form, not in the exact map form. And they allow the quick identification for of areas with high and low value of the parameters that is selected, like the risk associated, accessibility to the hospitals, other thing, road, communication, habitation, all will be provided in this cartograms. So this is all about. You should also refer the NCRT for this landslide. Panspermia, this word is used for defining life not on the planet but also in the universe. So it is very old and ancient concept that was first given by the Anaxagoras of a Greek philosopher in the 500 BC. So 500 BC, it is I think near about the when the Buddha exists. Buddha was around 580 BC to 540 BC, something like that. So it is very close to him. Even it is older than the Alexander. Alexander attacked India, I think around 230 BC. So this concept is means life is like the seed. It goes from one planet to the other planet. This was the concept, but the recent still we don't know exact uh, information about the life on the any other planet. Next relevant news, again this solar mission. This has been in the news continuously from the 1st January onwards, when it was successfully we established our Aditya-L1 into the L1 point. L1 is the Lagrange point. There are 5 points where the two bodies like the sun and earth cancel out each other for gravitational force against the third small body. So we all have all this concept we studied in the study session. More thing that provide this editorial is the seven seven instrument that is on board, and they provide different functions. One thing this provide is the Aditya-L1 is the observatory class solar mission. That means this particularly this spacecraft will rotate around the sun, and just it will observe what is going on. And seven instrument will function in different areas, like they will observe what is the why the corona is like that, what is the features that's impacting the temperature of corona. There is the mystery behind why the corona is so much heated. We discussed yesterday that the corona, despite being outer layer, its temperature is highest, and it is very high. It is the 10 lakh degree centigrade as compared to the photosphere that is inner in the inner layer. So it is very mysterious that whenever you are sitting close to the fire, in general it should be more heating to you. When you go far and far from this fire, the heat intensity should decrease. But in case of the sun atmosphere, if you are close to the sun's core, where that is the source of the heat, there the closer the heat is less. But as you go further, as at the corona sphere, this has the a very high temperature. The explanation now that is being given for this high temperature is the due to the magnetized wave lot of uh, with a lot of plasma. This plasma. So what is the plasma? Plasma are the charged particle, and then this plasma, magnetized wave of plasma, they explode at the corona surface. This is the concept that is being given. The 7 instrument, you should know the name: VLC, Solex, Helios, Aspects and PAPA. Okay. So these are things. Lagrange point, the distance from the Earth is given here. So you should know what is the distance of this Lagrange point where Aditya is there. If this is Sun and if this is Earth, so L1 is very close to Earth. It is 1.5 million kilometer. Okay, this is 1.5 million kilometer, and from Sun the distance is 150 million kilometer. This is the distance you should know. 100 times more than the distance between Sun and Lagrangian point. History of India's solar observation and mission started in 1901. It was the first Kodaikanal solar observatory that we started with. And this James Webb Space Telescope, that is also on the other Lagrangian point, that is the L2, and this is particularly for the observation of the space, deeper space, not the Sun. So we studied that if Sun is here and Earth is here and this is L1, so L2 is here, so that it can observe the deeper space without any hindrance from this Sun, because it is just behind the Earth. Okay, this is Earth. This is all about this particular editorial. Next editorial is with respect to the development happening in the Jharkhand. One thing you should know that this Mr. Soren, the wife of Mr. Soren is from the tribal community of Odisha. So she is not qualified in the other state Jharkhand to be contest on a seat that is reserved for the tribal of the Jharkhand. So if you have confusion that the ST list with respect to the state, it is different from the different state. If you are going for the state specific scheme or benefit or the any of the program, if it is not the all India level, for the all India level, for example, for the IAS paper, IAS is the all India examination level. So ST from the anywhere in the India can apply. But if a person belong from the Rajasthan, if a person belong from, take example, from the Tamil Nadu, and his ST in Tamil Nadu, in ST list in the Tamil Nadu, if he is going to apply for the Karnataka state PCS, and in the Karnataka this community is not under the ST list of the Karnataka, so that person will be not eligible for the that benefit under the ST list or the SC list. Okay, so you should be clear about this. There is always confusion. This news make this confusion clear. Next article that we can cover is this. This is particularly, it is not that much important. This is talking about the aviation professionalism. All this article is talking that the Indian aviation sector and authority is very secret in disclosing the information in the case of accident. And comparing with the Japan, recently Japan, there was accident, there was a collision between the two aircraft. But in the Japan, they provided the information that is associated with the ATC. ATC is a box. Under that, the information, the conversation between the pilot and other crew member and the member at the ground station all get recorded, and we know that what was going on when the crash took place. So in the case of India, generally they don't provide, but Japan they provide. They have provided all the information what the talk that was going on. There was clear-cut information to the both of aircraft that you don't have to proceed, but one of the aircraft proceeded and crashed. So it was the fault of the pilot. Pilot didn't hear carefully. That's why it is talking about that there is the issue of the fatigue factor. Means the a pilot assigned with a lot of work and they got fatigued due to this and they do not able to concentrate on the whatever the direction they are provided with. This is all about, and in the last, it is asking the Indian authority to be decrease, be more transparent, and work on the training and safety area instead of hiding the information. This particularly, this article can be helpful in GS paper 1, not GS paper 2, social justice, person with a disability. So this is first paragraph, it is talking that the how we have achieved in the making person with disability more access to the different area. And in this half of the article, it is talking about is the case in India. You should remember this right of person with disability act 2016. This is very important with respect to the person with disability. This is statutory provision and the highest authority that is under this act is the commissioner for the person with disability, and it has provided that still despite this act is a positive move, but the again we have lot of thing to achieve, and it has provided that still here the main headline talking about the structured negotiation as a boost for the disability right. Here the structured negotiation is between the service provider and the person with disability. They should consult each other so that the services could be made more accessible, more helpful for the person with disability. So one of the example it has provided that this structural consultation between service provider and person with disability is missing, and that's why accessibility has not been achieved. One of the example it has provided that in one of the case Chief Election Commissioner directed Paytm to make its digital platform more accessible to the person with disability, and Paytm developed a digital platform to make this more accessible to the person with disability without consultation with those person with the disability, and ultimately that new platform become inaccessible for the person with disability. Instead of improving it, degraded. This is talking. So that's why it is asking that whenever you are going to develop anything, it is better to consult, and priority should be given actually to this person with disability. And also in the last paragraph, it is mentioning that in India, most of this company and the service provider think that these persons with disability are not that much useful for them because they are not the consumer base. They cannot, their paying capacity is low, and that's why they are not giving priority. So this is this particular article concluding with that it should be if it will be positive direction to achieve more accessibility if it is structural involvement of the both party will be there. So this is all about. You can use this whenever the question comes on the person with disability.